things you should know about principles. Principles are rules, facts, truths that have been tested, tried, proved, and approved. They have been tested, tried, proved, and approved. Those are principles. Principles are laws. The laws of nature, the laws of life. There are so many of those laws. Like John D has the 10 laws of money. John C. Maxwell has the 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, 21 irrefutable laws of teamwork. And there are 3 laws of motion that I will talk about as I conclude with it. And the 3 laws of motion that I will talk about as I conclude with this teaching. So laws are rules, facts, truths that have been tested, tried, proved, and approved. Now, the first thing you need to know about principles is this: principles are immutable. Principles are immutable. They are unchangeable. You can't change them because they have been tried and tried over and over again. Nothing can change them. Principles, they are wisdom about nature which cannot be changed because they are enforced by the force of nature, and God is in charge of the force of nature, and God cannot change. So principles also cannot change. Principles are immutable. They are unchangeable. Another thing you need to know about principle is this: it is universal. Principles are universal. Principles are universal. You know the laws of gravity. The law of gravity says everything that goes up must come down. If you throw a pen up, it must come down. You throw a feather up, it must come down. You throw a car up, it must come down. That's the law of gravity. And this law holds sway everywhere you are in the universe. So it is universal. The law of gravity holds sway in Nigeria. The same law of gravity holds sway in Bahamas. The same law of gravity holds sway in Europe. Principles are universal. Another thing you need to know about principles is this: principles are immortal. They don't die. Principles will continue to hold sway as far as the earth remaineth. God declared, as far as the earth remaineth, seed, time, and harvest, and heat, and cold, and summer, and winter, and day and night will not cease. As far as we have the sun setting in the evening, as far as we have the sun setting in the evening and rising again in the morning, principles remain the same. They don't die. Another thing you need to know about principles is this: principles are neutral. Principles are neutral. Principles are not respecter of persons. No, principles are not partial. The same principle that makes a man poor makes another man rich. And the identity of principles, the identity principles take in our life is what we give it. Principles are neutral, but we have the ability to induce either positive charge or negative charge on them. So principles are neutral. We are the one to name principles. And that brings us to number 5 things you need to know about principles, which is this: principles are meant to be taken advantage of. Let's take for example the law of gravity, which says that whatever goes up must come down. You throw a pin up, it must come down. You throw a car up, just like I said earlier, it must come down. The law can be changed, but can be taken advantage of. We have our planes because Wilbur and O.V. Wright took it upon themselves to take advantage of the law of gravity and other forces of nature. We also have parachute, we have lift, all invented by scientists who took it upon themselves to take advantage of the laws of nature. So principles are meant to be taken advantage of. Principles are not meant to control us. We are the one to control principles. We are in control. Make use of the principle for your own good. And I guess that was why Paul said that I've learned to be poor and to be rich. I've learned to be in want and in plenty. I've learned to be healed and hardy and sometimes sickly. I've learned to be lifted and I've also learned to be abased. Why? Because we should take advantage of principles. We should take advantage of everything happening in our life and not the other way around. So, you can play with principles. It will not bite you. You can take advantage of it and it will not be angry that, oh, you are trying to take advantage of me, right? No, it won't. It will rather present itself to you. Please take advantage of me more. I love the way you do it. Let's play with the 3 laws of motion. The first law says that an object remains at the point of rest until an external force is applied. Wisdom number 1. Your life will remain the same without any input from the external world, the unseen realm, and God rules the unseen realm, which rules the seen realm. So your life will remain the same without the help of God. That's what Newton's first law of motion is saying. An object remains at the point of rest until an external force is applied. So until God moves you forward, you remain the same. Until God lifts you up, you remain the same. Until God opens doors for you, the doors will remain closed. The second law of motion, it says the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force applied in the direction of the applied force. The rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force applied in the direction of the applied force. Wisdom number 1. The rate at which your life will change depends directly on how much you want to put in. The rate at which your life will change, the rate at which your life will move forward, the rate at which the quality of your life will improve depends on how much you want to put in. Wisdom number 2. Your life can change, but you must apply a force, and the force you will apply must be in the direction of your desired change. And that brings us to the third law of motion. It says actions and reactions are equal and opposite. Actions and reactions are equal and opposite. Wisdom number 1 says give. That gives an action, and the reaction doesn't come from you, because action and reaction are equal, but opposite. The reaction will come from the opposite side. So when you give, the reaction will come from others. They will give to you too. Say, give, and it shall be given unto you, good measure, pressed down, shaken together, running over. Say, shall men give unto your bosom. So when you give that action, there will be an equal reaction from others. And wisdom number 2, when you help others, you are telling God to help you, that you cannot help yourself. Wisdom number 2 says, when you help others, you are telling God to help you, that you cannot help yourself. So slap somebody, and I'm telling you, somebody will slap you back. Action and reaction.